Hi, Catherine. How are you this morning? I'm doing well. How are you? I know you just got your nails done. They look beautiful.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm well. So, did you ever see your co-stars just posted this TBT, Jessica Biel, Beverly Mitchell?
Cute,
do you still consider them family?
Oh yeah.
Always, right?
Yeah.
Do you still keep in contact?
I don't worry about them. They're happy. They're good. Yeah, we get together. It's really nice.
And there's a little bit of a reunion. Do you think there's ever going to be a Seventh Heaven reunion?
You know, I don't know. I mean, we'd have to open with Stephen's coffin.
Yeah. Oh no.
Are you a pedophile?
I do not fit the either clinical or dictionary definition of it, but I'm absolutely not attracted, physically or sexually attracted to children.
Why you keep pulling your dick out in front of them?
That seems sort of weird to me. If this is a pattern of behavior, that you could go for several years and not have that inclination.
Because I didn't walk around thinking, oh boy, I could do something now, but no, I'm not going to.
A steady presence in both movies and television for the last 40 years, Collins has played everything from a Nixon aide in All the President's Men.
What happened on June 17th, I don't think the president knew anything about.
To a straight-laced starship captain in Star Trek.
Admiral Kirk. Oh, we're getting a top brass send-off.
To Diane Keaton's estranged husband in the First Wives Club.
Is that all you can do? Think of yourself. If you go through with this, I'll have nothing.
But he's best known as Reverend Eric Camden, father of 7 and pillar of the community for 11 seasons on the hit series Seventh Heaven.
I don't think God put you on hold. I think God brought you here.
Off-screen, he seemed to practice what he preached, volunteering at soup kitchens and serving communion at his local church. But beneath that squeaky clean image, Collins was hiding a secret. The story exploded this fall when TMZ released audio of Collins and his wife while they were undergoing marriage counseling. Audio that included admissions of his sexual misconduct with 3 underage girls decades ago. Unbeknownst to Collins, Faye had secretly recorded every disturbing word.
When you exposed yourself to his 10-year-old sister, did you have an erection?
No. I mean, no. Partial, maybe.
Partial erection?
Maybe, yes.
How did you talk to her? What kinds of things did you say?
What is it that you're looking for?
How did you talk to her? What kinds of things did you say?
The exposure happened a couple of times.
A couple of times? You told me once.
No, I said on the list it happened several times. I said on the disclosure.
Several times? Oh, yes. You have to understand I was being shot in the face with a shotgun, so several times.
It happened
with a 10-year-old. Okay.
Well, no, she was 11 and then like 12 and 13.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a big difference.
There was never any conversation around it.
There was
one instance.
But how did you there was one instance what?
Well, this isn't a disclosure, and I told you before, there was one instance wherefore there was one moment of touching where I put her hand on my penis.
You put her hand on?
Yes. That was in the disclosure. That was also, I also told you that when, before that, when we were in the hotel.
You gotta understand that, hard to say, yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
It lasted a few seconds, and that was the last time anything ever.
What were the other girls' names? I want their first and last name.
I don't know his last name.
And who
was the niece of the woman who lived across the way. She is someone I actually saw about 12 or 15 years ago and made an amends to.
Did you date her?
No. Date her?
That's outside the realm?
Oh.
Here? Did you date her after you disclosed? Just wondering, Stephen. I need to know.
No.
Okay. How many times with?
Once.
And you said that there was another girl. How many girls altogether?
That was it.
No.
No.
You said that there was.
Help me out here, Aaron. There was sister. There was
Sister who was 10 because she wrote me when because she was 10. 10, 11, 12, around several years.
There were, I think there were like 3 incidents over about 3 years.
Okay. So, and then there was the girl across the way and then there's, so it's just 3? You're sure?
The fallout was fast and furious. He was dropped from a recurring role on ABC's Scandal, ironically, and fired from the set of the soon-to-be-released comedy, Ted 2.
He played a sweet, sympathetic reverend on television, but now in real life he's accused of being a monster.
The news about that sordid recording instantly destroyed a reputation he had spent decades building and publicly branded him as a sexual predator.
The first incident was in 1973. You were 25 years old. How old was the victim?
She was 10.
Tell us what happened.
Well, in 1973, there were 2 occasions when I exposed myself to this young woman. And several months later, she came to visit, and she and I were watching TV alone together, and I took her hand and moved it in such a way that she was touching me inappropriately. I knew that something unthinkably wrong had just happened that I couldn't take back, and I think we both just sat there. We really didn't move a muscle. And after about, what I recall is about 45 seconds, I took her hand and moved it back. I waited a couple of minutes because I just didn't know what to do or say. And then I got up and left the room.
A decade later, in the same year he met his wife on the set of Tales of the Gold Monkey, he says it happened again.
There were 2 times in 1982, 20 years ago, in 1994, when I exposed myself to 2 different teenage girls. There was no physical contact of any kind with either of them.
Do you remember the look on these girls' faces?
The look on the one in 1982 was such that it immediately just stopped everything cold. It was clear that she was disoriented and frightened, and that just made me want to stop and cover up, and I did.
And this is the chick who was flashing in 1982, April Price.
Price, who spoke exclusively to DailyMail.com, says she was in awe of the famous actor. It was the summer of 1982. Price, then 13, was living with her aunt. Collins lived next door and came over to fix her video game console.
When he turned around, his pants were completely unfastened, his was hanging out, and I'm just shocked. Honestly, up until this point, I'm 13. I've never even kissed a boy. This is not something that I was even prepared to deal with. More or less, I kind of just shut down.
How old were these girls in 1982 and 1994?
They were 13 and 14.
Did you find this sexually gratifying?
Not at all. I mean, not at all. It was not exciting. It was not gratifying. There was no gratification.
Then why did you do it?
It was a combination of poor impulse control, arrogance, 25-year-old arrogance.
When was the first moment you realized that you had these impulses, an attraction to prepubescent or underage girls?
No, that's the thing, and I absolutely do not have that attraction.
Why you keep whipping it out?
I am not attracted to underage girls.
I don't get it.
Keep in mind, that the only time there was any physical contact with an underage girl was in 1973. And the incident in 1982, God help me, took advantage. That's not the right word.
Yeah, it is.
But I acted impulsively again.
I think taking advantage may be
well, maybe it is
term.
exactly the right word.
That's right.
He says that the incident with Price only happened once, but she says it happened on 3 separate occasions.
He was acting normal, so I was determined to act just as normal. I'm keeping an eye level. I'm not, you know, my whole thing at that time was not to respond. I didn't want to be rude. He was fixing something for me. I was appreciative of that. So he did his thing, and then he left.
I'm trying to understand exhibitionism sort of as a pattern. Is it about power? Is it about seeing someone shocked? What motivates it?
I think it is about power, but not consciously.
Why did you want to do this interview?
The truth, as painful as it is less painful than the stuff that was flying around the internet and some of the rumors.
8th heaven?
8th heaven. A new boyfriend for Annie.
Fucking stone.